Well, hello everybody. I'm Al. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE. I'm here with Brandon
Hello there.
and a very special guest, Mr. Basement Blues himself, Tony. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Welcome to the live show.
Yep. Glad to be
We
here.
have something we have to tease later that we also
Can
did.
you also log in on your computer and be in our comment section so that we at least have some people talking?
No,
Yeah,
we
I agree with
really
that.
do appreciate you tuning in all the time. But also, Tony has a great channel. We want to make sure everybody knows that. Tony's been doing this for some. How long have you been doing your YouTube
9
channel?
years.
9 years.
Yes.
Whew. Now, how many movies do you think you had whenever you first started?
So if you go back to my early videos, you will not see what you see right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mostly had TV show on DVD
Okay.
sets and very little.
I kind of want to go back and watch that now.
Yeah.
I'm very eager.
I would not suggest it.
Well, yeah, whenever we first started a year ago and change, I had a totally different background. Hey, there you go. Media
Yeah.
fiend.
Hey there.
So thanks for tuning in. So yeah, no, we're excited to have you every week. We get to.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too.
Yeah, that happens. We get to talk about how envious we are of your movie collection. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just have goals. We have movie collection goals. So
Set the
Right.
bar pretty high.
yeah, I don't know that we'll ever catch up, but at the same time, it's fun to think that we might.
Yeah.
So,
It's not a race.
well, tell everybody where they can find you, Tony.
So you can find me on YouTube as Basement Blues. You can find me with the same name under TikTok, Twitter, and on Instagram. Mostly on Instagram.
Okay. And Brandon, do you want to tell people where they can find us? Since Ryan's not here.
Well, I guess so. This is so out of character of me. Okay, there it goes. So yeah, you can find us at cinemachinepod.com. There you can find links to pretty much every little social media platform that we're on. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as Patreon at CinemAchinePod. Yeah, so give us a follow over there. Hit us up. We got merch still. Anybody
Oh
need
my
some merch?
gosh.
So
Don't have this, but whatever.
it's limited.
That's so limited.
We'll raffle it.
own
Just one, huh?
Just one. They won't let me make any more. Like, no.
You keep saying that. We've never said that we wouldn't.
I know, it's just a fun joke. Anyway, we have a lot of fun stuff coming out. Tony did join Ryan and myself for a Halloween Kills review that will be coming out later, probably closer to next week, closer to Halloween, maybe this weekend. But we'll put that out. And also, I'm going to be putting out on the Criterion Corner some off the beaten path kind of Halloween movies that you can watch, not your ordinary Halloween movies. And I saw Brandon the other night hosting Cape Cast with Alan. So that was interesting. No Ryan. Baseball has made our lives glorious. So we get to bring Tony on. It's very nice. So, but no, welcome everyone that's tuning in. Please let us know what you're watching. Some of the Halloween movies that you're going to be watching. If they're actually Michael Myers movies, if they're funny, whatever. Let us know if you even like Halloween movies. So let's get into it, guys. Mr. Quentin Tarantino keeps going back and forth. Tony, are you a Quentin Tarantino fan?
Oh yes, big time.
Okay. What's your preferred, like, say, Tarantino movie?
Kill Bill.
Okay. Well, then this is going to really excite you because
Yeah.
he's saying that there's a good chance that Kill Bill 3 could be his next movie and wants to make a comedy Western. I'm guessing this is a mock poster from somebody online, not the actual deal. Yeah, I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Are you excited about a Kill Bill 3 because he says it's going to be his last movie, or would you prefer him put out something, a little more original, go out in a blaze of glory?
Well, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay if Kill Bill Volume 3 would be his last film.
Okay.
because it is definitely one of his earlier ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that'd be really good because you don't ever know what an original movie would be like. So we know Kill Bill's going to have to be good.
Yeah. Do you dislike any of his movies? Did you just can't watch?
No, I like all of them.
Okay. I just because I know that like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a little divisive, you know.
Mhm.
So and I think that's the most divisive. That and Jackie Brown, I would say, are the most polarizing. Brandon, how do you feel about this? Do you want this or do you want something more original?
I mean, I definitely want this, but one thing that we should clarify is that he's not making this a comedy western. He said he wanted to do a comedy western
Right.
before he did Kill Bill Volume 3, just so that's clear.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard him talk here and there about the treatment for this, using Maya Hawke as the bride's daughter, grown up, the two of them on the run. And I know there was talk about what is not Viper? Is it Viper? What's the is it Vanessa? I keep wanting to say Vanessa Hudgens. That's not it. What's the first kill in Kill Bill?
The lady with the daughter.
Yeah. Can't think of
What is her
her
name? And I don't like her as an actress.
Williams. Is it Vanessa Williams?
No, it's not Vanessa Williams.
Okay.
Vanessa Williams was a playgirl. Geez, Lou.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Terrible at
Every
remembering
time she
names.
comes on, I don't like her as an actress, but I know who you're talking about. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, there's talks about her because she leaves her daughter there, and talks about her because she gives her that, like, when you grow up and
Vivica A. Fox.
Vivica A. Fox. There you go. Vanessa Williams. Vivica. It's similar. But yeah, so that would be an interesting story to pursue if they went that route, but we'll see. But no, I mean, I love Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and I would love to see them pick this back up, especially since it seemed like Tarantino and Thurman had a little bit of a rocky patch post Kill Bill because of maybe there was some like stunt that went awry, that there was some like drama. Yeah.
Car with the
but they've seemingly mended things over the years. We'll see. But I mean, he was talking about having Maya Hawke in it, so I assume they've kind of gotten past whatever that was. But yeah, I'm for it. We got some comments that we might need to address.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. So Media Fiend wanted to know what your most underrated horror movie would be.
So go ahead, Tony.
If you like a real good vampire movie, Let the Right One In or Let Me In, those are both great. You don't hear very much talk about those.
Yeah,
Let
those
Me
are good.
In is Matt Reeves, right? The remake.
Yes.
Yeah, and Brandon, I know horror's not your jam
It's not,
so much,
but
do you have any?
Off the top of my head, I would say Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah,
I think that's a really underrated gem.
that's a great movie.
Yeah.
The movie's hilarious. I would say, I don't know if it's horror. I don't know if it's considered horror, but I would put it in there for some of the scenes. But I would say Mandy. It's got some pretty unsettling imagery in that movie.
Yeah, the whole tone of the movie, man, that's something else.
Movie's beautiful though. I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, my movie club will not watch it. What movies can you represent?
So Reaction Reviews also wanted to know of, what movies can you recommend that are like Babysitter Killer? I'm not familiar with Babysitter Killer personally.
I've not seen that, but I think I know what he's talking about. That's the one that was on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Is that the same thing?
How old are you?
Wasn't
I
it
think that
just called Babysitter?
Was it
The Netflix?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so who was that made that comment?
Reaction Reviews 21.
Can you tell us what that movie is. I can't really tell you.
Okay,
much,
well,
but
while
I will
we find
gladly
out-
watch it and get back to you. How about that?
Yeah, actually,
Well,
it is Babysitter Killers.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm.
Well, it's gonna be hard for us to recommend it if none of us know what it is.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it and I'll get back to you. Okay, how about that? So I'll.
He
do
also
that.
want to know if any of us are going to see the new Resident Evil.
Tony.
Me personally,
I'm,
probably
I'm-
not. I mean, I do appreciate that they're trying to stick closer to the games. I watched the trailer and I was a little underwhelmed. Besides the nods to the games,
Yeah.
which is something that they didn't really do in the. It's Paul. Which one? Paul W.S. Anderson, P.T. Anderson, Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah.
Um,
PTA does the good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked the first one for the most part, and then just kind of trailed off on that franchise. But somehow they kept making more.
It's
But
girls in tight leather. Teenage boys went and saw it. It's really, I think, how they kept making those. And plus,
gave his wife roles.
yeah.
So
That's not really my jam. I think I've seen like 10 minutes of one, and then I saw Red Letter Media crack on them when they watched them. Like they watched two of them at one time, and just watched how they would sync up. But I've not watched any. So I can't say that I'm going to watch the new one either.
So we've got your description of
12-year-old Cole finds out his beloved babysitter belongs to a murderous. Yeah, this is the thing from Netflix, right? Cole
Yeah.
must put his crush for his babysitter aside and escape their grasp before they sacrifice.
yeah. So there was two movies. There's
two-part.
the
Ran
babysitter,
out of
and then
Sure,
there's
Personal-
the
Helm for personal
babysitter.
gain. Yeah,
Yeah, the babysitter, and then the babysitter killer queen. I believe.
I
is
guess
what it
that's the
was.
sequel, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just from looking, Tony's getting quite the. I mean,
Yeah.
all right, Ryan's getting replaced. So,
Yeah. Look at the
So-
chat room, right?
yeah. So, no, give Tony all the love, man. We're glad to have him on. I would say, just from my own standpoint, from what that movie sounds like to me, I would say The Heathers is probably not as harsh as that movie. It's not as probably kill, but it's just it's like teenage angst where there's. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's got some jokes in it. I remember seeing the trailer for that, and it had a lot of jokes in it, and looked like it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, scary movie with a lot of blood. Like a more it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but just from the trailer, it looked like it was like more of like a funny, modern Scream, is what it kind of looked like to me. I would say The Heathers is a great movie if you want something that's on that level of the teenage kind of killer kind of thing. Anything from you guys?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Winona Ryder is just, she's aces in my book. I don't care what anybody says. So I love Winona Ryder. So
You know, I think searching through Netflix, you'll find other movies similar to the babysitter.
yeah. It seems like there's another one that I want to. It's like on the tip of my brain, but I'll probably blurt it out later, just randomly.
Hmm.
But no, thanks for the interaction, because now I've got to go watch The Baby Killer, and like I said, after I watch it, I will get back to you with more.
Did you end up
Suggestions.
watching Nani's recommendation? Marilyn
Niagara?
Monroe? Yeah.
I'm gonna do a full review of it on Criterion Corner just for
Oh.
Nani,
There you go.
because
Just send it
yes.
to her directly. Just DM her.
that would be awkward. That would be awkward. No, I'm actually, Nani, if you are out there, if you watch this, whatever, hit us up on the email. And I was thinking about possibly even have you on to talk about Niagara, because she was very adamant that I watch this, but I asked her to watch a movie as well. So we traded movies. So I thought we could review both movies together. So hit me up. I tried to find her email, but on her YouTube, but I couldn't find it. So I didn't want to stalk any more than that. So, all right. So,
That's good.
yeah, I don't want any, any kind of like restraining orders.
Mhm.
All right. Are you a fan of John Wick, Tony?
Oh yes,
Yeah. Did you have a preferred one out of the three?
the first.
First,
Yeah.
I think the first is the best. Second is probably my least favorite. I think.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, the third was just nonstop.
yeah,
I liked.
yeah. I almost felt like I had asthma again, like when I was a kid, because I was like heavy breathing. Like I was like, whew, okay, you know. Well, they're gonna do a John Wick prequel series, The Continental, and they're adding Mel Gibson to the cast.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm a Mel Gibson sucker. I think it's I don't know. Fat Man was not the greatest movie in the world, but
No.
him as Santa Claus was still entertaining to me. The movie just wasn't as advertised, but yeah, I'll watch anything with Mel Gibson at least once, even if I regret it later, which I have regretted some of the most recent Mel Gibson movies. So
Yeah, I would probably just agree with that. I haven't seen anything that floored me in a good way. Of his, I remember we were really stoked to watch that. What's the movie that from the director that did Dread Across Concrete? Or maybe it was called Dread Across Concrete. That's what it was called, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, we watched Drag Cross Concrete.
And that was really, really pretty big letdown for me.
A lot of people love that movie, though. Love it. Did
Yeah.
you see that, Tony?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Did you like it?
I remember enjoying it. Nothing spectacular, but yeah, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
Making sure got the right one because his titles all kind of mesh together.
Cell Block, something with Vince Vaughn that he did.
Yeah,
Cell Block
Dragged Across
99,
Concrete is
maybe.
the one we saw. Yeah, and Brawl and Cell Block 99 is the one with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
And he also didn't he do the movie with Kurt Russell, Bone Tomahawk?
He did. Wait, you talking about the director?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the director.
That one I enjoyed.
So Dragged Across Concrete, Brandon and I sat down to watch that at Brandon's house. And I think we got it from Redbox or something, right? And we were just like, and we were kind of pumped to see it. Like, had that kind of excitement to see it. And we just both kind of looked at each other, well, that sucked. It was just one of those movies where we were both immediately let down. And I think
a lot was the hype that we had going. Like everybody was raving about it and really wanted a super gritty Mel Gibson, like kind of return to form, Renaissance movie for him, and just kind of fell flat for me personally. But yeah, somebody had mentioned that, Reaction Reviews had mentioned that they should have stopped at 3, John Wick 3. It's about to come like Fast and Furious. And I kind of agree. I feel like they have to keep making these movies because they keep making a ton of money. Everyone's made more money. I really enjoy all of them. Mm-hmm. I will admit that they get a little fatigue, like action fatigue. Like when you have so many, like headshot after headshot after headshot after headshot, it gets like you get a little numb to it.
Yeah.
And so that's a little worrisome as far as, because the natural thing for all these types of movies is like you got to one up the next, on the next one, you just one up the last one and try and do something bigger and bolder. And that's what Fast and Furious did. They became superhero movies by the end of it. Not even the end of it, where they are now. So yeah, I'm worried about that. But this is like a 3-part series, and the Continental is something that's really a really cool world building thing within that John Wick world that I think would be cool to flesh out. Because they've kind of teased a lot of that, but haven't dove into it too much.
And Reaction and Reviews 21 said, I understand it, but the quality is going to drop. I think that we saw that in the second one. The quality, like, just it's similar to a lot of sequels. For whatever reason, no matter what happens in Hollywood, and I don't forgive the directors and the producers and everybody, but for whatever reason, these directors go out and they make something on a shoestring budget or on a lesser budget. I'm sure that John Wick was on a pretty sizable budget for what it is, but
Well, the second and third. I don't know about the first.
But on the second one, that's when people start to micromanage from the studio for whatever reason. They think, they did a really good job, but I have a better idea and I know how to do this better than they did. And they kind of make some of the casting choices. We need bigger people. We've got a bigger, kind of budget, so we can go get bigger people. We can do this. We can do that. And it just kind of gets, I think, convoluted by a lot of red ink, and there's a lot of red tape and a lot of just garbage that gets in there. And you can see that evident in most sequels, and I think that's why sequels have a hard time getting off the ground. Do you guys disagree with that or see that differently?
Yeah, I agree with that. And like they were saying, the first movie was good just because it was something new and different. Second movie, just the fighting. Third movie, fighting. You do kind of get numb from it. It's not as exciting anymore.
Yeah.
No. The first one was such a surprise hit too. Like it's one of those it's one of those films like they come around every once in a while that you're just like, man, that was actually I kind of like didn't give that movie the credit it deserved whenever it was coming out. Like Keanu was in kind of a slump at the time too, and so
that was a resurgence kind of movie for him. Yeah. And I honestly don't think. Well, I mean, here's the thing: I'm not a Matrix fan. I know I'm in the minority there, but that's ultimately what's getting the Matrix Resurrection made, and a few of these other. I think it also helped finally get Bill and Ted made because that was in development hell for some time.
I would say it helped Bill and Ted more than it helped Matrix. Matrix is such a big IP for Warner Brothers that regardless of Wick, it would have.
But I don't know if they would have brought back him. I think they would have started it up a different way, like maybe gone a different route, like tried to see a different avenue. I do agree that they would have probably gone down the Matrix avenue, just maybe a different way.
Maybe so.
Matrix 4 looks bad.
You bite your tongue.
Well, Matrix 1, 2, and 3 look terrible too. But no,
Why are you the way that you are?
I have good taste. Sorry. Did you see Nobody, Tony?
Oh yes, I loved it.
I like that a lot, and I know they took the Wick model, but they added a lot of comedy in there, and I don't think they could have done a better casting than they did for that movie.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Bob
they go
Odenkirk
against
is
type
great
for that role.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk made an appearance in Halloween Kills. Did anybody know that?
Yes, I did. No, I didn't.
His picture from when he was like a kid is on the screen as one of the kids that died. Do you remember Bill from the original Halloween movie, Tony? So
No.
he's the boyfriend that goes in the house with the friend of what's her name? Jamie. What's Jamie Lee Curtis? Why am I Lori? Gosh, there's so many Strodes by now. I get them all confused. So anyway, her friend goes in with her boyfriend and they do the thing. But anyway, he didn't want to show his face. He didn't give them the rights to use his likeness. So they found an old picture of Bob Odenkirk because they're friends with him. And they used his face as the Bill guy because he looks just like him with the big glasses and everything. So it's Bob Odenkirk on the news.
So did you recognize that on your own, or did you find out afterwards?
I had to find that out.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that on my own, but no, I've had the pleasure of briefly meeting Bob Odenkirk twice, and couldn't have been a nicer guy. I mean, couldn't have been nicer whatsoever. So, he was. I don't know. So I root for him, is what I'm saying. He was super nice. So
I'm definitely wanting to find out when Better Call Saul comes back.
Oh yeah. There you go. Did you see Upgrade? That's a movie that we really like.
Upgrade. Yeah, I think I did.
The movie about the chip in his spine.
Yes, man.
He goes berserker mode.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That's Lee Wynell. We all rave about that movie. That's another I think you were mentioning that, but it's super underrated.
Yeah, and they're coming out with a show for that too. So
Yep. We actually have a little bit of news on that front. Let's go ahead and, since we're on there, this will be a perfect segue.
Okay.
We don't get those very often.
All right.
But yeah,
So Jason Blum is as upset as no one saw Upgrade. Offers update on TV adaptation. So what he's saying here is basically we're going to make sure people see the show, and we're going to make sure people get to see the movie from the notoriety of the show, because it really stunk it up at the box office. And I'll be honest with you, this movie was a sleeper hit.
Mhm.
But when Brandon and I saw it, we got energized like crazy, and we always tell the story. But Kevin Brandon's friend Kevin came over, and he's like, he saw the movie. He's like, this movie rolls. So he was jazzed up, man. And I don't know anybody that has seen this movie that didn't just like, you kind of get that 8-year-old, excitement while watching this movie, because it's so gross the way that the kills and everything, and it just comes out of left field. So pretty jazzed about a show here.
It's just a lot of really innovative filmmaking on pretty much a shoestring budget, and
shoestring for like crazy.
Yeah, something different. And I love sleepers like that, where you don't know anything about it, and then you watch it because somebody recommended it. Just great.
Yeah. We're not the first people to make this comparison, but it's basically what Venom should have been, and a better Venom. And there's a lot of parallels there, because this guy that is the lead in this in Upgrade is like a poor man's Tom Hardy to begin with. I can't remember his name, but he was in Prometheus. That's the only other thing I remember him from. But yeah, and then there's also this an AI that lives in his head, and he talks to this AI, and similar to Venom Eddie relationship. So there's that too.
Do we know if he's in the show?
I don't know if they've said yet, but I don't know. We'll see. They haven't released a lot of details. They just said that they're working on scripts right now, and they're trying to get a full order for a season. So
Logan Marshall Green.
Yeah, Logan Marshall Green. So
kind of looks like Chris. I'll watch the TV show. I don't know if it'll be able to capture the same energy as the movie. I don't know if that movie is better left alone. Just promote it, put out some special editions, create some buzz behind it now that it's on Blu-ray, 4K, all that stuff. I just really think they should really push that along, but that movie is definitely a buy in my book, for sure.
Tony, did you see Invisible Man, the recent?
Yeah, I did.
So it's the same director, Lee Whannell, did Upgrade, then Invisible Man, and now I think he's doing Wolfman next. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's what his next.
So I think he is doing the Universal monsters, like the most of them anyway.
They tried to do that when they brought out the Tom Cruise, The Mummy.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
But the Invisible Man, I enjoyed that one.
I did too. I wasn't a big fan of it, but Ryan and I both loved it. But yeah, another instance of still a pretty small, $7 million budget, but super inventive in its.
He does a lot with his budget. I'll say that. I mean, he does, and it really makes you wonder what these $100 million budget movies you see. What'd you do with that budget? I'm watching some of these Halloween and horror movies and stuff like that, and I'm seeing that they have $20 and $50 million budgets, and I'm like, what'd you do with that budget? Nobody's in the movie in some of them, and yet they still have this huge, crazy, large budget, which is crazy because Blumhouse made the last two. They produced the last two Halloween movies, and $20 million budget. So that's impressive. So their model is $3 to $5 million, $7 million for a movie. I really want to see Terrifier 2 whenever that gets released. I really liked the first one.
Anybody seen Terrifier?
I have not seen Terrifier, but I think I'm going to have a load of movies to watch. I've seen this advertised. Damien Leone So this movie was made for $100,000. That's impressive, man. So I'm on a kick right now, and it's streaming on Tubi and Amazon. So I might have to watch it. So thanks for the suggestion. And they're making a sequel, so that's interesting. And this was released in 2018 as well, like the last Halloween movie. So that'd be interesting.
What a coincidence.
Coincidence? I think not. We've paid the people in the chat tonight. All right. So speaking of scary stuff, anybody here a fan of Mr. Rob Zombie's movies? Maybe music, fine, but movies? House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects,
Yeah,
anything with Sherry Moon in it he directed.
I just recently watched all that trilogy for the first time.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed the first two. I wasn't too happy with the last one.
Yeah.
I guess Three from Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
they're all
yeah.
very similar.
Oh yeah, they're just grindhouse movies basically.
Yeah.
But my mom years okay, so first off, I went and saw that movie, the first one,
Mhm.
House of Thousand Corpses, in the theater. Chicago, came out, sun hit my eyes, and my eyes started watering, and people were buying tickets, and they wouldn't buy tickets to that movie because they seriously thought I was crying on the curb. They said, that grown man's crying. And then my mom asked me to pick up some Halloween movies that next year when it was on Blu-ray, and I was home visiting. So I grabbed that and a couple other movies, and we watched House of a Thousand Corpses, and my mom was so like just disappointed in me for watching that. Why do you watch this? She like started crying. She was like, why do you watch this? I taught you better. And she just wouldn't put up with it. So to this day, my mom still gets on to me about watching that movie. So
Now, last week you were talking about your mom wanting you to watch a certain movie.
yeah, she wanted me to watch, was it Knock Knock or whatever it's called? And which is basically porn. But if it's killing people, my mom's like, no, I taught you better. So yeah. My mom. Anyway, Rob Zombie is now going to be making the remake of The Munsters. This is the first look at the cast with Jeff Daniel Phillips, Sherry Moon Zombie, and Dan Roebuck. Now, Jeff Daniel Phillips, he has been in Rob Zombie movies before. Sherry Moon Zombie only gets work because Rob Zombie's a director. And Dan Roebuck, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy that played Jay Leno in the Jay Leno versus like the Tonight Show Wars or whatever that movie was when Jay Leno versus David Letterman was going on. So it's kind of weird to see him at this, but much like the Addams Family, I think they've tried to do the Munsters so many times. Don't know where he's going to take this because he takes things way too far. So are you guys amped about this? Do you care at all?
I'm excited for it. I love the Munsters.
Okay.
I think that cast picture looks really good, except for Lily Munster. I don't like the way she looks as Lily Munster.
Mhm.
But Grandpa and Herman look pretty good.
Yeah, I will say Jeff Daniel. Yeah, I mean everybody looks good. Sherry Moon Zombie, she's just one of those people that. Now I've seen Rob Zombie in concert like way back, right after he quit White Zombie and such when he was in the band White Zombie, and then he quit and then he went solo. And Sherry Moon was still a dancer on stage for him and stuff, and they weren't married yet and everything. And so she's a pretty lady, but she's not a good actress by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, every time she comes up in one of the Rob Zombie movies, it's almost like a commercial break for my imagination because she's just kind of like cardboard. So, Brandon, do you care about the Munsters? I know that you were okay with that.
I mean, I used to watch that show. It was like TV Land when I was a kid. So I have that connection to it. So yeah, I mean, out of the stuff that Rob Zombie's done theatrically, this would be one that I would be more inclined to check out versus the other ones. Just not my bag. His other stuff just hasn't been something that I would seek out. But besides his music, I do like his music. But yeah.
Hey, I suggest everybody go listen to the very first White Zombie album. It's a great album, especially for this time of year. It's a great album. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. If he keeps it light and fluffy and kind of comedy, I'll be okay with it. But I don't know. If he tries to make it like this disgusting, murderous rampage that's so out of sorts with what the Monsters is supposed to be, I really don't know if I'm going to subscribe to that. It was Tony. Did you watch the Rob Zombie Halloween movies?
I did.
Did you care for those at all?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I've been watching some people do their rankings lately, just like 2 or 3. And people were like, the second one was so much better because he had more freedom to do what he wanted to. And he had a pretty good amount of freedom on the first one. It's just, it's just too much. It's just way too much. And they're like, I'm all for a gory movie. I'm all for that. But it was almost like, I don't know. It was like blood kind of like gore porn, and it was just, I don't know. It's just, that's what he leans on. So, here we go.
Yeah.
My Killer Podcast. This may be a hot take, but I could do without any more Rob Zombie remakes. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. That's what I'm kind of on the fence about this is like, I like the property of the Monsters. I don't know that it needs to be remade. I like the original show just fine. Not that I go back and watch it now. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm like the biggest fan, but I don't know that this needs to be remade. I think they're just trying to make sure they keep the property in-house at Universal, because I think Rob Zombie still has a deal with them, if I'm not mistaken. So we shall see.
Yep.
All right. So The Last Duel. I know Brandon was excited about this movie because a couple of his boyfriends were in there. But Ridley Scott's Last Duel bombs at the box office as Halloween Kills dominates the weekend. Halloween Kills also dominated at homes. It was like 172 million homes watched it on Peacock and around $50 million at the box office. Does that surprise you guys that a Ridley Scott movie didn't do as well as a Halloween movie around this time of year, especially?
Yeah. No, it was a bad time to be released.
I think it was just as far as theatrical, these swords and sandal type movies just don't do well, period, anymore. So I didn't expect it to do well just in general, regardless of when it came out, what it was going up against. I still want to see it, and I've heard it's gotten reviewed really well. And I know that Mal's joking about having Affleck and Damon and these guys and Adam Driver in it, which I do love all of them and anything that they're in. But the Affleck thing, I was a little turned off by because he just seems so out of place. I thought Damon looked kind of lived in, like that. He didn't look as like Affleck with his blonde wig just looks kind of weird. I just don't buy him in that era, but still want to see it. And I actually hear he's pretty good in it, surprisingly. So, but yeah, it's no surprise that it didn't do well. Personally, I just not something. I mean, they should have put it out. It should have been like a Netflix. I mean, The King came out not too long ago and made a decent little splash on Netflix. And those types of movies seem to be better suited for an at-home experience these days. It's just not going to draw people. So I don't understand why studios would want to invest in them.
Right.
I mean, that's why I assume the reason why you have all this A-list talent in this movie with Ridley Scott is they were probably expecting, the names to pull people, but that's just not what happens anymore. People don't really draw. They don't, a big name doesn't necessarily guarantee box office. So
I don't know if Ridley Scott anybody cares about his movies anymore, because he's really disappointed in I would say, man, at least his last like 4 or 5, right? I mean, he used to be a home run.
I mean, he's hit or miss, but he's one of those. He's so prolific that you're gonna have hits and misses. Kind of like Clint Eastwood. Like, he just keeps turning out stuff, and sometimes he hits it, and sometimes he doesn't. But he just stays active, because if he doesn't, he's gonna die. Essentially,
Yeah, that's his live stream. Cry Macho. I actually thought about watching that the other day, and I just couldn't make myself do it. I don't know. I love Clint Eastwood, but I just couldn't make myself watch that movie. It just looks so bad. Tony, what about, Ridley Scott? I mean, do you think he still has it in him to make a good movie, or what do you think?
I think he does, but just nothing recently.
Yeah.
All the recent ones haven't been so good. But definitely the names out there, I'm not sure exactly what's in the future, but hopefully he has something else that's going to be good.
We shall see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got so many things in production,
does he?
whether it's directing or producing.
Got to get him in before he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's.
Yeah. House of Gucci is coming out this year as well.
He's going to be the first hologram director. Like, after he dies, they're going to just have him recorded terms and everything under a hologram. Yeah, House of Gucci. I mean, I'm not excited about any of that. I mean, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I don't care. I never cared anything about the Gucci thing.
I would be surprised if you did, Al.
Yeah, I'm super stylish, but I just don't care about Gucci. So,
I mean, I enjoyed The Martian, but Robin Hood, some of the other stuff that he's done hasn't been really big. I think The Martian was the last big one that I can remember that was any good.
Yeah, it was good. Covenant was definitely a letdown.
Yeah,
that was big.
But
it was a big letdown.
I don't know.
I was
always
for
root
movie.
for him. I enjoy him as a filmmaker, but yeah, sometimes it doesn't land. But what are you gonna do?
I like when people agree with me. It's very rare, but I like it. Yeah, thank you, Reaction and Reviews 21, for backing up Sensibility. All right, so let's get into trailers that we've watched lately. Let's see. So, Tony, are you familiar with the Tragedy of Macbeth teaser that came out recently from?
Yeah, I'm not a very good person to talk about trailers because I really
that's right.
try to avoid
You go in
them.
blind. I forgot about that. So we'll try not.
So
to
you're on the same page as Ryan, but Ryan just does it because he's lazy.
Oh yeah, I just like the surprise.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Just that image right there looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've watched a couple depictions of Macbeth, and I know this is Ethan Coen, right? I'll probably end up watching it maybe eventually, but I don't. It's just not my thing overall. But just because I like the Coen brothers so much.
Yeah, same here. If I hear Coen, I think I'll be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this looks great. I mean, they've put out 2 little teasers so far. And stylistically, I'm there for it. I think they're super like they seem like you could draw comparisons to like Sin City or even like 300, movies like that have like more smaller, confined, very stylistic sets, very stylistic like camera shots and things like that. And it's kind of out of the ordinary for a Coen movie. It's probably intended to be more like stage play, like these like, more smaller sets that you would find on a stage. And so they're kind of going for that angle, considering it's a Shakespeare play. But
got a couple comments down here. Watched the Black Phone trailer, and I'm pretty excited about it. We talked about that one last week or the week before.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Ethan Hawke. I liked the aesthetic of what I saw, but the trailer was kind of it was like Brandon said, tale of two halves, really. Excited about it for the first half of the trailer, and then the second half of the trailer kind of waned a little bit. Then we have reaction and reviews. 21 says, have you seen Ambulance by Michael Bay? Yeah, actually, Brandon sent that over to us today, the trailer. And I got bored in the middle of the trailer and turned it off. So that was how I felt about it.
He saw Michael Bay's name and he's like, oh, okay, never mind.
No, I saw Jake Gyllenhaal and got excited. And then I was like, oh, this movie's been made 300 times. So
yeah, there's definitely a lot of more of the same in terms of the Michael Bay-ness of this movie. The talent has me interested, but you know, if it was coming to Netflix, I might check it out, but it's not a theatrical experience for me. And it seems it's a Universal project, so it's going to be in theaters. Yeah. It just looked more the same, unfortunately. And I did either of y'all. I'm sure that Al didn't, but Tony, did you see his movie that he put out? What was it? 6 Underground? Is that what it was called for Netflix? Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Was it good?
Yeah.
Okay, I never saw it. Ryan saw it. I don't remember what he thought about it.
It's like all the other action Netflix movies.
Yeah.
Which I've enjoyed all of them, but they all seem very similar.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely had Michael Bay, you can say what you want about him. He knows how to direct action, and that's kind of his bread and butter. And this one looks solid as far as filmmaking is concerned. You've definitely got those like Michael Bay, like camera, rotating around actors talking about what they're about to do. There's a lot of shots like that. And then obviously his explosion, porn, so to speak. But, yeah, I may check it out. It depends on, if anybody sees it and recommends it, at face value. It's not something that I would, vehemently seek out, but that's just me. There was one other trailer that came out, and then we'll move on from trailers since Tony,
we don't want to spoil them for
tries to refrain from them. But the Being the Ricardos trailer dropped this week.
I sent this over to my mom.
I did as well.
My mom was a huge Lucy fan, to the point to where we still buy her Lucy stuff to this day. Not all the time, but a lot. And I remember sitting next to my mom at my great grandmother's house when they announced that Lucy died. And my mom, I thought my mom would like be crying because she loved her so much, but she was just kind of like, she wasn't like, oh, my world is wrapped up in this. I was very young when that happened, but this might be interesting, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if I'll watch it.
It's got to be geared toward the older generation, though, because how many younger people would even be interested in a story about Lucy and Desi?
Yeah, I appreciate Lucille Ball because she did so much to really break that glass ceiling. And she's redhead. So, and she was super smart. She really did run that business, and she really was a businesswoman. And I know all this because of my mom. As a matter of fact, we used to have a VHS tape where they had all the Lucy episodes on there, but it still had the commercials in between the because my grandfather just recorded a marathon on like whatever channel. So when we used to watch that, we still watched like 80s commercials and stuff like that. So a little bit nostalgic for sure. But I don't know. I think Nicole Kidman is like a little bit too spot on of casting.
It's originally going to be Cate Blanchett, I'm pretty sure.
Which I would have loved. I think I would have liked that more personally. Not to say I don't like Nicole Kidman, but she's a redhead, so I get
Yeah.
why they just went ahead and did that.
Yeah, I
But-
think Will and Grace did a Lucy spoof, I think, during their last season,
I'm sure.
and it was really good. They did a good job with that.
And then Javier Bardem is
Mhm.
going to be Ricky. Ricky was not a big dude.
Mm-mm.
And from what I've seen, Javier Bardem is a pretty big dude.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see how they go about that, because Ricky was like not only short, but he was also like pretty skinny,
Yeah.
and he's pretty broad guy, and he's got that real distinctive face. So that might be a little distracting. But I don't know. I might watch this with my mom when I'm like home, because it comes out around Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be on Prime, so
Yeah.
very
That's
accessible. And it's another positive for it is Aaron Sorkin is writing and directing. So for a movie like this, it's probably going to be super dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that bodes well. So,
But if they do the Aaron Sorkin thing where everybody just talks really fast, that might be a put off. But I don't know. It just depends on. I say this all the time, but I get a little bit, I don't know, reluctant to watch these types of movies, because the more I get
you didn't
older
want to
and
say
see
it, did you?
what.
Yeah, you don't want to say the N word. Are nervous the word that we use?
Oh no, the older I get is what I was saying.
No, you're gonna say nervous.
I wasn't. Just go ahead and play it.
Well, you got to be nervous about you, damn kid.
So, the older I
I
get,
had my finger on it. I was like, he's gonna say it.
the
He's gonna be
older I
nervous.
get, the more I realize how much they really do kind of tell their own version of the story, not the actual story in these types of movies. And so I don't know. It kind of bothers me to a certain degree, because these people lived great lives and they did great things. Both Ricky and Lucy, but I would say Lucy more so than Ricky, did really, really great things. We got a couple comments over here. So, Brandon, I agree with you.
Yes,
I am 50-50 with Ambulance. If it was on Netflix, I would watch. I would watch if sure, but if it's in theaters 50-50, do you think Michael Bay fits for streaming devices?
I think so. I mean, Michael Bay. This is not a knock. It's just he's popcorn. More or less casual audiences eat him up. So
yeah, he's a red box director, in my opinion.
I think that Netflix is a good platform for casual audiences. Not that they don't put out more like quote unquote highbrow cinephile stuff. You'll see some of that stuff pop up here and there, but typically around the fall when it gets closer to award seasons, you'll see them putting out that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that he's a good fit. But this is not going to be the case, so it'll be in theaters. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, it's got a good cast, but we talk about this a lot as far as casting, banking on selling a movie, getting people to be able to get budgets and be able to get technically or theoretically getting people to come out to see them is what they're banking on. But I don't know. I just don't see it. It seems it's a weird fit for Gyllenhaal to do a Michael Bay movie.
It really is.
I could see Gyllenhaal doing it back in like his Prince of Persia days, but he's taken a different approach to his career.
He's like
as of late.
Other than the Spider-Man movie, he's really like the indie darling kind of. I don't know. He takes a lot of chances with his selection of movies. Yeah. So, I don't know how you feel about Michael Bay in general. Tony, do you feel like he's a fit for this Netflix?
Yeah, I definitely feel like he is. I think it's going to be right up his alley, especially with all the most recent things that he's done.
Yeah, I think he is a do something else while you have the movie on in the background kind of director.
Yeah.
The Uncharted trailer that you're asking, it came out today as well. I put it on the Capecast doc just because it just felt like video game type stuff kind of falls into that. We also talk about Resident Evil in that one as well. But I did see it, but briefly I'm indifferent about it. I love those games. I think Mark Wahlberg is terribly miscast as Sully. And I don't know, Tom Holland as a young Nathan Drake is on paper it works, but his squeaky voice doesn't work for me for that character. I know that's a nitpick, but it's true. And I just see him as Peter Parker at this point. So,
Tony, are you a video game guy?
No, older Tony isn't. Younger Tony used to be, but
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
These games are great. There's 4 of them and a few spinoffs, but I would have loved them because they've been trying to make this movie forever. At one point, David O. Russell was supposed to do it, and Wahlberg was supposed to play Nathan Drake, and I believe De Niro was going to play Sully. De Niro as Sully would have been great at this point. He's too old for it. And so I guess they just kind of, Wahlberg was probably a producer on the project. And so they were like, all right, well, we'll let you play Sully. He just doesn't fit that character. Like he honestly didn't fit Nathan Drake either, but I don't know. We'll see. Ruben Fleischer is directing, and I liked Zombieland, the first one, but I haven't really liked anything he's done since.
yeah.
So
I don't know anything about these games, so I don't know how or comment. I have not seen the trailer. I doubt I'll see this movie. Not because of anything other than I'm just not into video games.
yeah, I will say some pros though, not to be completely negative about it. I liked some of the action sequences, especially the one towards the end with all the cargo boxes and the plane. That was straight out of Uncharted 3, which I appreciated. So even though as far as canonically, it that happened to grown-up Nathan Drake, not kid Nathan Drake, but
So they're going to try to blend all the games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be nods and different, things that they'll pull in, characters, and there's probably some sequences from the games that were fan favorites. But it doesn't seem like it's like a canon type thing as far as it's separate from the games. But it's produced by Naughty Dog, who did the games, so there is that. But it just seems to be like they're letting them do their thing. So we'll see. I'm definitely interested, but just I have my reservations.
Yeah.
One might even say nervous.
You ain't lying. Why not? Even if it's bad, it looks like a popcorn type of movie. So reaction and reviews 21 says so. There we have it. All right, now let's get into what we've watched this week. Now we do have a guest, so the Southern gentleman that we are, we're going to let our guest go first. Brandon.
Sure.
Okay.
So what have I been watching this
Yeah,
week?
Tony, what have you been watching this week?
So during October, I'm just watching nothing but horror movies.
Same here.
I've been watching the classics like Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein,
That's really cool.
Dracula. I watched Let the Right One In. I've watched, I don't know, there's so many of them I can't even remember what I just watched. Maybe there's an image on the screen that will remind me.
Let's see what else you got. You watched Pet Sematary.
Oh yeah, I watched both Pet Cemeteries. I actually did a versus video of which one I would prefer, which one I did prefer. So I did both Pet Cemeteries over the weekend. Yeah.
Did you see the remake of Pet Sematary?
I did. I watched both.
What'd you think about that?
The remake, I heard a lot of people hating on it back when it came out, but it wasn't that bad. I didn't like the way it ended.
Wasn't it rated PG-13?
Probably.
That's. I think that was my big. No, it was rated R.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Even watching the original, it had been a while since I watched the original.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little disappointed in how bad some of that was.
Yeah. I remember, but I remember as a kid when I watched, like we had a video store up at the end of our neighborhood. It was attached to a gas station, so me and my friends would walk up there. And I remember one day we got It, Pet Cemetery, and Bordello of Blood. Tales from the Crypt movie. And man, we watched those movies because it was raining outside. Oh my gosh, terrified us. The first two, Bordello of Blood, was just kind of silly. But the Pet Cemetery was the weirdest thing to us. My
Yeah.
Killer Podcast says felt so bad for the little boy at the end of the remake.
Yeah. I wonder if he survived.
I felt like they really screwed up the story in the new one, where they kind of flipped the roles of the daughter and the son, and
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of
It was a big surprise to me, though. I had no idea that they were going to do that. I just assumed it was pretty much going to be
right.
the same thing. So I
Right.
did like that. That was a little bit different.
I got excited and went and saw that in the theater. So I was a little bummed that I spent the theater money to go see it, but I still went and saw it in the theater. Still supported my theater. I went and saw it with a friend, and I remember both of us kind of walking out, kind of like that wasn't scary. It just wasn't scary to
Yeah.
me. But that original one, as cheesy as it is, still has some imagery.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Churchill the cat. I mean, just and the
little
bike
boy.
rider. Yeah, the is it bike rider, hitchhiker, whatever he is, the jogger, whatever he is. That always got me when I was a kid. So,
Yeah.
and of course, the kid getting hit by the
Right.
big truck. So, and right at that same time, that song "Tears from Heaven" was out by
Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton,
Yeah.
and that song is about his son
Mhm.
dying. Like, I think he fell out of a window or something
Mhm.
terrible like that. And I was very young, so I got the two mixed up, and I thought that movie was about the boy in Pet Cemetery.
Oh, the song.
I thought the movie
Oh.
was retelling the story of how
Oh,
Eric Clapton's son died, and I was totally wrong.
yeah.
But I would go around telling everybody, yeah, that's what Eric Clapton, like that song, that's about that Pet Cemetery thing. So wrong. I was so wrong, but I swore up and down that was it. So anyway, well, cool, man. So make sure you go over to Basement Blues on YouTube and check out the 31 Days of Horror, right?
Mhm. Right.
Got a new video up every single day in line to get you lined up for what you need to do for Halloween movie wise. He even unboxed, and I'm so jealous, man. I can't stop saying it, but he unboxes the Scream Factory Halloween set. Now, I have the Blu-rays back there, but Tony got the vinyl records, and I think you got everything but the pins, right?
Right. I did.
You got the posters and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend $50 more for the pins.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, it was expensive just to get the Blu-rays by themselves, so I can only imagine. So,
Yeah.
Anything else, or is that everything that you watched?
I'm sure there's probably something else.
Do you need me to remind you?
Oh
'Cause
yes,
I have
please.
I have them in the queue.
Oh yes, I watched that last night. The House is October Built. So that was a really good one. I really love haunted houses. I grew up going to haunted houses.
Mm-hmm.
So this right here was a really good. I don't know. Have y'all seen this one before?
I have not.
I have not. No.
It's based on haunted houses. They kind of mix a documentary in with the film.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I am banned for life from a haunted house in Orlando.
Oh
Yeah, I punched somebody when I was 18. So
wow.
my picture's up in the front. So
Is it really?
yeah, I don't know if the haunted house is still there, but they took my picture, turned all the lights on, and you see all the ghosts the characters taking their mask off and stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy's like rubbing his jaw.
Oh, man.
He came out and grabbed me, and I just reacted. I'm not tough. I wasn't trying to be tough, but yeah. All right. What else we got, Brandon?
Well, one of the other things that Tony had on his list, which I apparently messed up the graphic for,
I see that
rushing through, was Old, and I left Frankenstein for some reason on the title.
Yeah, me and my wife actually watched this one the other night when I guess it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And yeah, had y'all seen that one?
I've not.
No.
I have not. I want to see it.
Yeah.
But
It's worth a watch. M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm. So I know you don't watch trailers, but have you gone back and watched the trailers since you watched the movie?
Oh yes, I do.
Okay, so
usually that's what I do right after I watch the movies. I'll watch the trailer and then I'll start looking up people's reactions and stuff.
Okay, so this trailer made me feel like this is the bad version of Shyamalan, and you're saying it's worth a watch. So,
Yeah, at least a one-time watch.
Okay, so where would you put this, in his catalog?
Toward the middle.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
It's not his old stuff that he used to do so well, but
okay,
it's better than some of his more recent stuff.
yeah.
And if you watch the trailer, then I think it's pretty much ruined.
I have a question. Your Vudu account or whatever, wherever you store your digital copies of your movies, does it look like your own personal Netflix? Or
it does not, because I do not. I've got somebody that buys all my digital copies.
Wow,
to help supplement what I spend on the releases.
Good for you,
That's a good
man.
plan.
Yeah,
Good for you. See,
but I do have a pretty large collection prior to me selling it to this person.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, Brandon.
Oh, not a lot, but we did pick up on Succession. It started back on
I've seen
Sunday.
the trailers for it lately.
Yep. It's a great show. And it feels like it's been so long since season 2 ended because it got pushed because of COVID stuff. And so it's finally back. And yeah, it's still really great. If you haven't checked it out, I know obviously Al, I don't think you've checked it out. Tony, have you watched Succession?
No, I've got the first season. I think they released it on physical media.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a chance to watch any of those.
Yeah. It's great, man. I mean, Brian Cox he's awesome in this show. I mean, everybody's great, but he's the draw for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, it just started back, so it's another thing, a weekly thing that to add to my list. The other thing that I'll talk about is we finished the Only Murders in the Building. The last episode dropped this week.
Then I can start it finally.
Yeah, I definitely recommend people check it out. I really enjoyed it overall. I have some issues, not necessarily issues, but like a little bit of nitpicks with the last episode in particular. But I thought overall it was a really good show, and
it
just been changed tonally in the last episode.
This show has been suggested to me quite a bit. Holy handbags!
That's a lot of guacamole.
Yeah,
man. Good Lord, Jerry. 3,000. Good Lord.
So is that what you focus on, or do you focus on digital copies, digital media instead of?
Do you keep the physical copy?
Well,
or do you just
maybe he doesn't
get the
even
digital?
Just seeks out the digital. Is that your guy that buys your digital?
No, but every week somebody hits me up for my codes.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is it worth checking out? I'm guessing you're talking about Only Murders.
Yeah. Well, either I would say yes. Succession is worth checking out, and Only Murders for sure.
That is like the buzz show that I keep hearing about, and I want to watch it. I just wanted to wait until I could just take it all in at one time. I didn't really want to have to wait. I've become very impatient with my watching. So
that's what I was saying last week is I've gotten so used to the binge model, even though I love if the show is good enough to where it's got hooks in you and you're like, can't wait for the next episode. And you remember, okay, this is a Sunday show. This is a Monday show. Those are easy to return to week to week. But the ones that it's so, as far as just all the content that's out there is just congested. And so it's hard to remember. Oh yeah. And that we started last night. We actually started the finale, and the previously on was like stuff that we hadn't seen. We're like, oh wait, we missed an episode last week we didn't watch. So we had to go back and watch the episode that it was, So yeah, that tends to happen for us. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's a pretty solid show, and they're getting a second season. So check it out.
Awesome. That's awesome. Good old Steve and Martin Short. That's fantastic. So, Mr. Martin. So, that's all you've been watching? That's all you're reporting on?
Yep. That's it.
Well, I watched a lot of Halloween movies.
Yes, you did. I had to make all these. This is not even all of them.
No. And there's a fifth one. And then I watched.
I know. Hang on.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Keep going. There we go.
That's all of them.
I've been watching them all. If anybody does like the Rob Zombie movies, they're like $5 on Apple TV Plus right now. If anybody just wants the digital, but I highly suggest both Tony and I own the Scream Factory set. Now Tony's got the more advanced set because I am a novice, but I bought these on a whim. Loved them. These have great transfers. Brandon, I know you're not the biggest fan of horror, but I do believe you would appreciate the care that went into these transfers. And so I keep buying them. I'm going to say this. I know people are not the biggest fan of 4 and 5. Those are the ones I watched the most as a kid. I had a crush on the girl in the movie when I was a kid. So that drew me to the movie. And then they brought her back in Rob Zombie's Halloween. So as an adult, but those movies are so cheesy, but I loved them so much. The fifth one is just all over the place. I would say the worst of these movies is the Curse of. Oh, well, I say that Resurrection might be the worst, then Curse of Michael Myers, then H2O, and then the Rob Zombies, and then I would say Kills, and then I would say 5, 4, 2, 3, then 1. I'm sorry, 5, 4, 2, 18, 3, then 1. That's how I would go about it. But that's just me going off, Oh my God, both 4,000 physical and 3,000 voodoos from Jerry. That's ridiculous. So
yeah.
Anyway, these movies are great. I think they're fun. I think Michael Myers is the best slasher because he's not silly about it. I made the joke earlier that he is like the Jason Bourne of slashers. But I do highly suggest everybody go out and whenever we put it out, watch our review with Tony on Halloween Kills. So it's a fun time going through all these movies. Had a lot of nostalgia with 1 through 5. Forgot how good it is, but the music, you just want to listen to the music like nonstop after you listen to this. So luckily Tony has the records he can listen to. So, and in my watching, I did go and watch Tony's unboxing of his Scream Factory as I was waiting on mine to arrive. So that was exciting. So, Jerry, we need a video of your physical media. No joke. No,
Tony,
joke.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you organize what's your system for organization? Do you organize them alphabetically or by like genre or
it's all alphabetical.
What about franchises that have different naming conventions like Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Knight Rises?
I've got the whole section over here, just regular Blu-ray releases that are alphabetical.
Yeah.
And then I've got all my DC stuff separated. I got all my Marvel stuff separated.
Yeah.
In the back, that's all my
keep your pants on.
Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel are back there. That whole shelf back there is all steel books.
Okay.
From top to bottom, and then what you can't see over here is all my Scream Factory horror movies, Warner Brothers, Kino Lorber. And then I've got Criterion over here. So I have different sections. That's the only way I can keep organized is to know where everything's at.
Do you have like a list, like a spreadsheet or anything going? Or
I use I use Blu-ray.com to catalog all my stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, I have DVD Profiler, so it's a paid one that I paid one time for, and then I can just keep everything on the database.
Nice. Yeah, I use Blu-ray.com myself, but
Yeah, I love it.
I don't have it. I mean, I got like 500,
This
which is a lot for me.
This is one room. I've got the same room next to me. So this is like one big open basement, and then I got it divided. So the theater's in the other room, and then there's more stuff in there.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
We're gonna have you on for a physical media specific episode.
Oh yeah,
where we just
great.
talk shop. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. You guys can share tips and tricks of like theater and stuff like that too. Alan Hicks says, "I like the one."
Alan.
Yeah, I know, but he says, "I like the one with Busta Rhymes in it."
I gotta roll this.
Alan.
That's Alan's drop.
Alan, see, you're okay in my book until you said that. The one with Busta Rhymes, not so good. That's the worst one, man. Organize my Blu-ray slips in the back, DVDs in the front of the Blu-ray slips. The franchises are together on its own shelf. See, whew. Yeah, I put all my Criterion together, but
It's like
other
a mullet.
than that,
Party in the back, business up front.
I put all my Criterion together, all my arrows together. Other than that, they're just I do separate TV and movies, but I don't have nearly as many as you do. I have a bunch downstairs as well. Wish mine look like Tony as neat as they come with this collection.
Jeez.
Yeah,
With that
Tony,
many out of order, how do you find anything?
Yeah.
Whenever you buy new ones, does it take you like an hour and a half to alphabetize?
Oh man.
Well, I do have stacks because each month, at the end of the month, I do a video of what I picked up during the month,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it comes time, I'm already out of space, so there are stacks in the other room. Unfortunately,
So you're buying the house next to you just to put your movies in?
Yeah.
With an underground tunnel. Yeah, I got you.
Hmm.
No, that's impressive, man. I mean, how many? So I know you're watching 31 movies right now. So you know, like you're watching a movie a day, roughly right now, if not more than that.
Since January 1st.
Yeah. So, what percentage of that would you say is physical media versus streaming?
95%.
Dude, that's impressive.
Yeah. The only streaming that I do is if there's something really special that I need to watch that's not available on physical media, then I'll stream that.
Mm-hmm.
All I have is Netflix and Amazon, and I've got Disney Plus. So if there's a TV show, you know, if there's like The Mandalorian or something like that, I'll stream that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really wish they would put that out on physical media.
Me too.
I don't think they ever will, at least not anytime soon. But
yeah, I need it.
I think they will eventually because they'll find, oh, there's money to be made. They'll figure out a way. So, speaking of physical media, has anybody purchased anything they want to show off this week?
here's looking at you, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony's like, my gosh.
Yeah, I bought it.
6 stacks.
Yeah, I do in the other room.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Yeah,
I've
worth
got something
noting.
that I forgot to show. I actually got this right before I got sick, but I got the Beetlejuice 4K box set.
Nice.
Open it up, just has the 4K in there. Then it has some pens and the chalk in there. So really excited about this.
Amazon had a sale, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And I believe Ryan or Brandon sent it. I was driving down the street. They sent it to me. I just went, bought. It's like hit 2 buttons.
Because that was hard to get when it first came out.
Yeah, and it was like way too expensive for what it is.
Right.
Because I was like, I'm not buying chalk for an extra $30, you know.
Yeah.
So
you need a lot of chalk in there too.
yeah. 3 pieces of chalk for $30.
That's how I looked out on that Terminator 2 endo arm, because it started out like 150 or something, and I got it for like 60 or 70 on this like random like.
Isn't it worth like 800 now or something?
Well, people are trying to sell them for that, but I don't know if anybody's buying it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: when I went on trying to find the Halloween movies before I bought what I bought, I went on eBay and like box sets from 3-4 years ago. People are selling for 800, 500, and nothing was like even remotely reasonable. So instead, I went and spent a lot less to get better transfers and more and these boxes, Tony, you can attest to this. These boxes are great.
Yeah.
You even mentioned that in your video, but these are not just regular slip covers. These are hard boxes.
Yeah.
So they're fantastic. And the artwork, I even mentioned it on the show. I wasn't the biggest fan just seeing them online, but now that I have them in hand, I love the artwork. So they're very, very, very nice set. So worth the little bit of extra money, and they sold out really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly, especially with the special edition like you got. So, well,
Nice.
I believe we've come to the end of the show, fellas.
One more thing, you always forget about
I'm sorry. We do have movies coming out. I always forget that Hollywood's still functioning. Dune.
Yeah.
Piece of junk. Nobody's gonna go see it. I'm just kidding. Brandon and I are going to see that. maybe Melissa.
Yep.
Ron's Gone Wrong.
Dune is actually available right now on HBO Max.
6 p.m. Right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go watch it on. I want to see it on the big screen. I am going to theater for that one. So, are you gonna go see that one, Tony? Is that your cup of tea?
I'm interested in seeing it, yeah, but I still have to see the Bond movie. I still have to go see Venom.
Okay.
I've got a lot more than this to catch up on, but October is pretty much killing me.
Yeah. Ron's Gone Wrong. Not familiar with this.
Mm.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
it's
that is.
animated, as you can tell.
Yeah.
It looks interesting for, I can't remember what studio was doing it. It may be DreamWorks. Can't tell.
Looks like it would be DreamWorks.
But I know it's not Disney. But that'll be one that we'll watch with the kid whenever it comes out on home video. And then you've got French Dispatch, which I'm sure you're interested in, Al.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the theater twice this weekend.
Yeah.
French Dispatch is one of those movies. I've been waiting on that movie longer than I've been waiting on Dune, to be honest with you. I'm very excited about that. A lot of people say it's like his love letter to the New Yorker magazine. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of the New Yorker. I've probably cracked open a issue of the New Yorker probably maybe 20 times in my life. But I will blindly go see anything that Wes Anderson makes. So
I wouldn't mind seeing it at some point, but I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan. I appreciate what he does. But he's not a director that I always seek out.
Yeah, I tell you, every time I watch Steve Zissou, that movie, Life Aquatic, whatever you want to call it, that movie continues to grow. Like, I love that movie from the get-go, but that movie becomes more and more classic to me every time I watch it. So I find that movie hilarious. I'll see here. My Killer Podcast says, very true. Pre-ordered the Scream Steelbook, but still waiting to get that shipping notification. Isn't that the worst?
Yep.
Mondo is the worst about that. When I was waiting on the vinyl of The Shining and the Bill and Ted vinyl for the Wild Stallions, man, it took forever. Like, they just say, hey, we'll send it eventually. And man, they just keep making you wait. So great product. You get excited when it gets here, but you're so eager to get it. And they're nice on, as far as customer service and everything goes. So I'm not trying to down the company, but you're just so eager to get it that you grow impatient. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Is there anything else anybody's going to watch this weekend?
I'm just watching Dune.
Might watch it a couple times. Sounds like.
And well, I'm gonna be gone after Friday out of town, so it'll be next week before I can watch it again. But I do want to watch it again at home for sure.
Yeah, Brandon almost gave up going to the movie theater to see it.
Almost
Had to sacrifice.
I need that. I need to go to a premium experience. Can't just be regular theater. If I'm gonna go do it, let's do it right.
I'm fine with whatever. So, well, Tony, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. I'll have to do it again
remember, Tony is going to be on our Halloween Kills review coming up very soon. We're going to release that very soon. But Tony, please do remind everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me on YouTube, Basement Blues, Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok.
Awesome. And I tell you, his channel is great. That's why I invited him on to the Criterion Corner to begin with, and we grew to be friends. And now he's a friend of the show, all three of us. So he'll become a regular, and maybe you'll see some content between the two channels and all that stuff. So yeah, we're very excited to have you on. So
yeah, thank y'all very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
Brandon, you want to tell everybody where they can find us?
Well, sure.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm
Yeah, you can find us everything at CiNEMAChinePod.com. Follow all our socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you know when we're streaming live, and thumbs up the video. Apparently that's something you're supposed to do. Helps get traction. I don't know how it works. Do it.
Yeah,
please.
We don't.
Yeah, and then we're on Patreon as well. So if you feel so inclined to join our Patreon, please do.
Yeah, if you want to hit the thumbs up, great. Give us money, that's even better. So I'm just saying, we like physical media.
Monies.
Yeah. Everybody make sure you go watch Tony's channel, Basement Blues. He's got a really good series right now, 31 Days of Horror. Some really good videos in there, especially if you need a push in the right direction for your Halloween watches. And also stay tuned to our channel because we're going to have some Halloween little videos coming up here and there. But until next time, continue to watch a lot of movies. Thanks everybody for joining us on CiNEMAChine.